Do you often find yourself struggling, not knowing what to do with your life and feeling like you are behind in life? Well, the reason is probably because you don't have a clear idea of what your purpose is in life. I'm talking about that because I went through that phase also. In today's videos, I'm going to share with you the tips that have helped me to find my purpose in life, so that you too can find your purpose in life and have clarity to go forward on what we really want in this life. If you are new here, my name is Inès. Hi, beautiful soul. I am the creator and founder and writer of nurturebodyandsoul.com. Part 1 is how to find your life's purpose. So the first piece of advice that I have for you is to ask yourself powerful questions. For example, what do you love to do naturally? What are you already excelling at naturally? What do other people point to you often as your strength? What are they complimenting you on being really good at? Above average. Attempting to answer these questions by being really real with yourself is going to give you an idea of what your purpose in life is. You see, most of the time it's there in front of your face, but you don't see it because you expect something else, because you are comparing yourself to someone else. You think it should be something different than what it already is. But by being true to yourself, you can identify, you can finally realize what your purpose is and give it your all without comparing yourself to others, without feeling bad about what is truly yours. My second tip for you is to journal about those answers to those powerful questions, so that every day you get new insight and more clarity on what your natural inclinations and abilities are. Like I said before, it's really an indication of what your purpose in life is. Now, moving on to my third tip for you is a very powerful habit that has really helped me in my quest for my purpose in life. And that is to meditate regularly and to ask for a higher source to guide you. Well, you can ask God, the universe, or your higher self, you choose, right? You can ask for guidance to help you to answer those questions. What is your purpose in life? What are you supposed to do with your life? And if you have uncertainty and you are not clear on what your next step is, you can ask that. And you can combine it with the journaling, so that you can journal the insight that you get, the inspiration that you get from that higher source. By journaling day after day about what your purpose is, you will finally have a eureka moment where you really understand why you are on this earth. Speaking about journaling and finding what your purpose in life is, write your gratitudes, because when you achieve in that mission that you have, you feel the most grateful for that achievement. Let's say you are a parent and each time that you playfully learn with your kids, you really feel a huge gratitude for having that routine where you read every day with your kids, for example. By writing that gratitude every day, it will be clearer for you that your purpose is to accomplish your role as a loving and nurturing mother for them. Writing your gratitude is going to give you an indication on what your purpose is, which leads me to the next piece of advice that I have for you, which is really to listen to what interests you at a certain moment of your life. How I understand purpose, I believe that our purpose can change throughout our life. For example, inspired to be 100% there for my children when they are small babies. As they grow and as they become more independent and they can do some stuff by themselves, they don't need me as much as when they are small babies and toddlers, right? And so I find myself having more time to take care of other interests. This is how I came to do these YouTube videos. The next piece of advice that I have for you is to really understand that our purpose can shift throughout our life. Before I was a mother, my purpose was to serve the people for whom I was working, because before I shifted into motherhood, I was a IT professional and I used to travel for my work. And then I moved into motherhood, and as we had our first child, I was feeling the calling to be a loving and nurturing mother 100% for that child. And then other children came along. So my priority, my purpose shifted from helping people with my IT services into being a loving and nurturing mother for our children. I could work part-time at that moment, and I knew exactly why I chose to do that, because my calling, my purpose was to be there for our children. Now that the children are a little bit older and they don't need me as much as when they are babies and toddlers, now I can move on to my next interest, and that is what I can do right now part-time when the children are in school, for example, right? And when they come back, I can shift back into my role of being a loving and nurturing mother for them. When they are in school, I can shift into being my own boss and creating, for example, through the YouTube videos that I'm doing right now. And who knows what is going to be the next step, the next calling that is going to be mine, right? But there is an underlying theme, which is, for example, serving others, being there for others with all your mind and your soul and your heart. Moving on to the next tip that I have for you is to count your blessings. This is a beautiful way to find your purpose in life. By counting your blessings, writing your gratitude, expressing your appreciation to the people around you, you will find some common themes that are more interesting for you, more impactful, that are more important to you. In those areas, you constantly express your gratitude, you constantly write and journal your gratitude, and this is really an indicator that this is what is important for you. For example, for me, all my gratitude will be around my loving partner with whom I have a fulfilling relationship, the loving children that are growing beautifully and are healthy, and so on. And thus, it is a confirmation of what my purpose is. It's still my biggest reason for doing everything that I do. So you need to have the courage to accept what your purpose is when you discover what it is. Don't compare yourself, because it only makes you feel frustrated, make you feel that you are behind in life, and you will feel stuck. Although you are already living that purpose and fulfilling your destiny. Talking about writing your gratitude and counting your blessings, it's really a way to open your heart. When your heart is open, you are connected with your soul. At that moment, your purpose will be revealed to you, because you are true to yourself and you will know what it is. Sometimes we say, oh, I don't know what it is, because we are not ready to face what it is. So be courageous enough and humble enough also to accept what your purpose is. You will know what it is for you, because when you connect to your soul, that inner voice, that voice of your soul is so loud that you cannot ignore it. And if you try to ignore it, this is when you will feel low, feel like you are behind in life, you will feel like you don't know what to do with your life, like you have not found your purpose in life yet. But those are all, those are just excuses, let's say, that you use to cover up what you actually know is your purpose, and maybe that you are not so ready to accept. I'm talking about that because I went through that phase also. Through that phase where I wanted to start a business, I started in the form of a blog, and I didn't have the skills that are necessary to make that successful. And I was so frustrated because at the same time I wanted to take care of my children. And so at some time I had to pause that blog because it was just a rat race that didn't have any outcome, any future, and it was taking my time from my children. And so I had to be real with myself and admit that at that moment in my life, my purpose in life were my children and not spending my time between two endeavors. Now, the next piece of advice that I have for you is that if you have a desire deep into your heart, deep into your soul, something that is constantly on your mind, then this is also an indication of what your purpose is in life. Listen to that inner voice, listen to those indications, and like I said before, have the courage to accept it and to embrace it. Before we move on to part 2, if you want to stay in touch and get from me updates that I only share in my newsletter, then I've prepared for you 3 simple morning habits that you can use in order to win every day. The link is in the description below. Enter your email and I will be happy to send you 3 simple morning habits to win every day. In part 2, we are going to explore how to fulfill your destiny, your life purpose, without feeling overwhelmed. With mindfulness, do every day something that brings you closer to that ideal that your purpose is. Talking about creating, for example, through the YouTube videos that I'm doing right now. I have a lot to learn, how to plan those videos, how to film them, how to edit them, and how to promote them, right? It's so many things to do. And they are not even the business, they are just the creative part. And I love it. And that's why I'm doing this. But I know that there's another aspect to that. And I also have to learn there and to apply. And sometimes I feel like there is so many things to do. And in order not to feel overwhelmed, my strategy is to do little by little, to take baby steps forward, to focus on the progression and to acknowledge my progression in gratitude. Because there is a definition of success, like success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, by Earl Nightingale. I love that definition. There is also that concept that success or failure are just feedback. They are just feedback to let you know that you are going toward your mission or your purpose in life. So regardless of whether you are successful or whether you are failing, you can learn from both, right? And when you start feeling successful, it's generally an indicator that you are on your way down. Because when someone is just on a mission, they don't care about being successful or not. They just know what they have to do next and what they have to do next. And they are grateful for the opportunity to do those things. They don't feel like they are successful. Other people perceive them as being successful because they just see the tip of the iceberg. That upper layer, success. Overnight success, maybe you know someone like that where you think they are an overnight success, but you don't see the steps under the surface. There is the big iceberg, maybe 95% under the water that you don't see. Those are the struggle, the determination, the failures that a person undergo when they are on their way to fulfill their mission and their purpose in life, right? We don't see that. But when the person attains a milestone like your first paying client or for other people your first $1 million, then you think, wow, that person is an overnight success. But actually it is more than just what you see on the surface. Now, moving on to the next piece of advice that I have for you is to really train yourself every day and in every decision that you have to make to listen to your inner voice so that you can know exactly the difference between your intuition, your inner voice, and your fear or your instinct that just wants to protect you. So train yourself in each decision that you have to make to listen to that inner voice, because by listening to the inner voice, you will know more clearly what your purpose in life is. And you won't doubt it, because if you have to ask yourself, is it really my purpose? Is it really mine? or am I taking it from someone else? Because most of the time you are influenced by other people. You think you want to be an entrepreneur, but in reality, but in reality, you have just copied it from someone that you have put on a pedestal that you admire. So be careful to not mix what is admiration of other people and what is yours. So by training yourself to listen to that unique inner voice, you will absolutely know what is for you and what is just a form of admiration that you borrowed from someone else on the outside. It can be your friends, it can be teachers and gurus that you admire, your peers, it can be your parent, but that is just noise which come from the outside, or it can be an inspiration also in some cases. But by listening to your own inner voice, to the message of your soul, and acting on that message, that is really how you find your purpose in life, and then you go into fulfilling that purpose in life. Now you have really heard all of my tips when it comes to how I found my purpose and how you too can use those tips to find your purpose. I would love to hear from you. What other tips have helped you on your journey to find your purpose in life? Please write in the comment below and share with all of us. Again, download the 3 simple morning habits to win each day. If you like this video, then like it, and if you didn't, then write it in the comment what you didn't like, because it's still feedback for me and it helps me to improve, to grow. If you are interested in this kind of subject that I have to cover about inner work, self-confidence, growth, and leveling up, feel free to subscribe. This is a wrap. Thank you.